With our project created, scaffolded, and configured, we can now begin to implement the actual business logic. Now, I'll use the Nest CLI to generate a user's resource. So I'll go back here in the terminal, and here I'll type nest generate, or just G as a shorthand, resource, or just res, users. Now it asks me what transport layer I would like to use. As we are developing a REST API, I would choose the first option. Now, would I like to generate CRUD entry points? Yes, as user is a regular entity, it will have CRUD operations. Now it is just installing the necessary packages with yarn. And there we have it. If I go back here in the source folder, the user's resource folder has been created. A Nest resource comprises many things. They are the entity itself, which will be the focus of this lesson, but apart from it, it also creates basic DTOs for creating and updating an entity, a controller for the routes related to this entity. In this case, it has routes related to CRUD operations, a service with the actual logic that will be executed when those routes are accessed, a module to encapsulate this context, and basic tests. But as I said, the focus here right now will be the entity. Let's then declare the user attributes. So in here, inside the class, I will declare the ID, which is a serial ID or auto-increment ID. Therefore, it is a number. The name, which is string. Email, which is also string. Phone, string. And lastly, the password, also a string. And these are the basic attributes of a user. I'll then save this file, and before finishing this lesson, I'll just talk a bit about DTOs. A DTO is a data transfer object. In our context, basically, it means an object representing the data being transferred to us. Therefore, data transfer object. Also, the DTO should only represent the data that is absolutely necessary to do something. For example, if I'm receiving the data to create a new user, then it should have those fields that we declared earlier, like name, email, etc. But it should not have the ID, because it is auto-generated and therefore not required. So to finish this lesson, let's implement the Create User DTO. So going back to the user entity, I'll copy everything except the ID, and then I'll paste in here. Now, it is also a good practice that a DTO's fields are read-only, so that they cannot be altered. So I'll click at the start of the name field, and using the Alt key to have multiple cursors, I'll click at the start of the other fields. And now I'll use the read-only keyword, and then save the file. The DTO also has relation with an important topic, which is validation. But that is something for the next lesson. So for now, let's just commit the changes. creating the first entity. So with this, I see you at the next lesson.